begin now. Listen to part of a talk in an economics class.
The Corn Law was passed by the British in the early 1800s, but it resembles some of the trade issues we have today. During the Napoleonic Wars, which Great Britain fought with France from 1803 to 1815, it had not been possible to import corn from Europe. This lack of corn led the British to look for an alternative. It ended up being wheat. This created an expansion of British wheat farming and to high bread prices. Farmers feared that when the war came to an end in 1815, the importation of foreign corn would lower prices. This fear was justified, and the price of corn fell. British landowners applied pressure on members of the Parliament to take action to protect the profits of the farmers. Parliament responded by passing a law permitting the import of foreign wheat free of duty only when the domestic price reached 80 shillings per 8 bushels. During the passing of this legislation, the Houses of Parliament had to be defended by armed troops against a large angry crowd. This legislation was hated by the people living in Britain's fast-growing towns who had to pay these higher bread prices. The industrial class saw the Corn Laws as an example of how Parliament passed legislation that favored large landowners. The manufacturers, in particular, were concerned that the Corn Laws would result in demand for higher wages. There was a dreadful harvest in 1816. This caused bread prices to increase rapidly. This was followed by workers demanding higher wages in order to pay for the increased food prices. There were food riots all over Britain. Despite all this protest, the Corn Law was not overturned until the 1840s.
Now get ready to answer the question. The professor discusses the Corn Law. Using information from the lecture and the reading, explain why the Corn Law was enacted and why some people opposed it.